Well, hello YouTube and welcome back. Riding season is fully upon us. Thought I'd throw a video up and talk a little bit about what we've been up to over the winter and what our riding plans are for the season. We've got some larger trips planned. We've got one already under our belt. I'll talk about that, some videos to come of that shortly. And then just kind of what we've been up to. So we'll talk through kind of what happened over the winter, what's been going on with the channel. This will be kind of more of just like really just a voiceover of some riding I've done over the winter and kind of what's been going on and what the plans are for the channel kind of going forward. So over the winter time back in late November, I sold the MT-07 and I purchased a Tenere 700. More to come on that. I've got several videos I'm already working on to kind of go through first impressions, how I set the bike up kit wise, riding it on road, off road. I just took it on a big trip. Haven't had any crazy off road on it just yet, so I'm not really ready to do like a review per se. Winter riding, we did try to get some winter riding in. The family had some riding. We rode in the snow some. I'll throw some video up. We had a good time doing that, crashing left and right. We also tried to get out and hit the family farm a couple of times when the weather allowed, let everybody kind of get out and have a good time. One goal that I had over the winter was to try to ride to work every day over the winter that I could. I absolutely abhor the cold weather. So it was definitely an exercise of just trying to force myself to be uncomfortable. I was pretty successful over the winter. I rode nearly every day, with the exception of days where it was like rainy in the morning. I would kind of not ride those days, but even if it rained in like the afternoon, I would still ride because, by the time I get home, I can change clothes, grab a shower, or whatever. I would say we didn't get a lot of snow and ice, so I'd say I probably got to ride like 95% of the winter to work, so that was pretty awesome. I don't have a super long drive. It's like 13 miles, something like that. So not a super long ride, but definitely your hands can get so cold that it's almost dangerous because your hands get kind of locked up, but it went well. So I did quite a bit of riding over the winter, but nothing like big trips or anything like that. I wanted to do like an overnight camp trip in the winter, but I couldn't quite get myself to do that. So I'm hoping that this next winter I'll be ready to take like the T-dub on an overnight camp trip in the wintertime. I want to be that tough. I'm just maybe not that tough yet. So the channel's been dormant for a little bit over the winter time. I'll talk a little bit of why that is. Mostly it had to do with the job situation. I've been working for the same company for just over 20 years. And for the last 14 years of it or so, I've been in a particular business unit. And the last 8 years of that, I've kind of been in leadership in that business unit. There was a lot kind of going on there that led up to some very stressful, honestly, the last couple years, and I was kind of at the very end of my rope mentally, and it was affecting me a lot coming home, and I needed a change. And so I started to put a lot of focus in like, okay, what are my next steps? I need to get in a new role, something to kind of reinvigorate me, possibly allow me a little bit more mental capacity outside of work, a little lower stress, maybe not having to think about what other people are doing, and make sure that a lot of moving parts are kind of put together. And I came across this role that's been amazing for me. I've been there about 90 days. The last 90 days have taken me a little bit to kind of get in the flow of what I do, but it's much more kind of individual contributor work versus like trying to maintain a larger team. And it's been amazing for me, pretty much life transformative, and I think that it's really going to help me pursue a lot of the things outside of my corporate life that I want to do. One is this channel, my music. I do all the music for the channel. I don't necessarily write it all, but it's definitely me playing in there, and I kind of want to keep that going in the channel. That's a part of my personal expression and something that I love very much, and so I get a lot of joy out of writing parts for whatever, whether it be something somebody else wrote and I kind of put my flavor on it, or it's a piece that I've written. And so I really feel like this new role is going to allow me to do that, and that's kind of like my next step and stage in life. leading in corporate America has some wonderful benefits. It's obviously financially rewarding. I wouldn't be able to do the things that I can do had I not taken that path. But it can also take a toll on you if you ever really genuinely want to lead other people. There is some burden there that you have to shoulder, and it takes a toll on not just you but your family. And so I feel like I'm in a new season, a little bit more invigorated. I've kind of got my new role, at least the basics learned. It's a very deep rabbit hole, so I'll continue to learn. But I feel like I'm in a good place where I can, start allowing my mind to be other places when I'm not at work. I'm not the best at that, but this job I think is going to provide me a better opportunity to do that moving forward. So I'm very excited about that. Even my oldest son was like, "You weren't in a bad place, but you're a different person. You certainly have this burden lifted off of you, and it's awesome to watch." So that's been really cool. And I know my younger kids, and certainly my wife, sees it as well. So what are our plans this year? We have actually a lot. We had planned a trip to Pikes Peak. We actually took that last weekend. I've got a ton of video. I'm already working on the editing for it. I cannot wait to share this trip. This was a trip of a lifetime, I feel like, for me and my oldest son and some of my boys, just from church and life that I've met over the years. They're a wonderful group of dudes, and we had a great time. So that's kind of the first big trip we took. At the end of this month, the wife and I are going to Hot Springs. That's about a 4-hour ride from us if you don't take like interstate. And of course, we'll probably take the dual sports down there. We plan to hit the off-road park down there potentially, do some kind of, there's some national forest down in the area. So do some of that. We're kind of trying to prep for, next trips. Candace is slowly building her off-road skills and also just, we're going to stay at like a bed and breakfast, like a nice place where we can hit the hot tub and just enjoy some husband and wife time, which is going to be amazing. There's an off-road park, adventure park in Jay, Oklahoma. It's called America's Outdoor Adventure Park. They're under some new ownership, I think. Travis Pastrana has something to do with it or had something to do with it as it got going. It's supposed to be amazing. It looks amazing. We want to do a family trip there. We're not sure of the time frame yet, but they've got an amazing park. It looks like it looks super cool. We're talking tons of trails, racetrack, cabins, pool, lounge, restaurant, bar, the whole 9 yards and then some. So I want to do, not only a video of us having a great time there, but do like kind of a full review and tour of the park. It's not too far away. So I think Candace and I are going to scoot over one afternoon and just check it out, see if we can just ride around a little bit and check it out so we can kind of prep for, what the family plan will look like. So really looking forward to that. That'll be probably later summer or early fall. Of course, Birds Adventure Center, that is my family's probably favorite place we've ever been. We're definitely going to go back this year. I did a video tour of it before, but my audio wasn't very good. I was still kind of getting the hang of like recording my voice while my camera's on the front of my helmet. So I want to kind of redo the tour video and maybe cover more of the park, some of the trails, and just maybe update that. I know a few guys that I work with have watched it and been like, yeah, we wanted to know what that place is all about, and that helped. So I want to do that. And the trip we're going to try to do, I think we might try to make it when they do one of their short takeoff and landing competitions, because that would just, add to some of the excitement for the kids and I to hang down. I was a pilot in my younger days, not professionally, but when I was younger, that's what I was kind of pursuing as a career. So I love aviation as well, and it's like an aviation park as well. Even like Cletus McFarland has gone and done their competition, which I think is like in August or September. So we're kind of keeping that on the radar as well. Plan that out. So I think the last weekend of September is Adventure Palooza this year. We definitely plan on hitting that. Candace is going to ride it with Aaron and I, or at least Candace and I are going to do it depending on Aaron's work. He's starting to work more, so it might be harder for him to go. So we're working on our off-road skills. We're going to get her going. I think we plan to do none of the extreme routes, like do all the big bike workarounds and do hotel stays for this first time. Candace has ridden a couple hours at a time on the bike, but we're going all the way up to 10 to 14 hours a day on the bike. And so we're going to try to work up to that over the summer. It will take a beating on you for sure. It took a beating on us last year, but it was amazing. There are a number of ADV dual sport routes that a local like adventure riding club has curated, and I have all the routes on GPX files, anywhere from like 120 miles, so kind of like a 1 day to like a 250 mile route. I think there's 8 or 9 of them. I intend to hit every single one of those by the end of the year and film all of them. Maybe split a couple of them into like 2-day, because some of them hit the national forest, so it'd be a good night to like camp out. I've done a couple of camp outs in the national forest overnight, kind of before I started filming, and I definitely want to do some more filming for that. I do still plan on completing review videos for all the bikes that we own, with the exception of the MT-07, because we sold it. I loved the bike. It was super awesome. You should buy one if you want a street bike. I wanted something. One, we were planning on going to Pikes Peak, and we did ride from Northwest Arkansas to Pikes Peak and back, 1,700 round trip miles. My son did it on the KLX 300, so it can be done. But I did want something with a little bit bigger, just travel capacity, which the Tenere obviously has. So I had to sacrifice the MT-07 for the Tenere, and I'll do a video on why I chose the Tenere, all those things, and again, how we've got it set up and all that stuff as well. All bikes have kind of a few thousand miles on them at this point. I feel like there's a lot of reviews out there on YouTube, and I don't, no shade at them, but you get 500, 600, 1,000 miles on it. I just don't know that that's enough to really tell somebody what the bike is in all the situations. And now I've had most of the bikes, with the exception of the Tenere. I've not had it on anything kind of hard off-road. All the other bikes I've done long highway miles on, and pretty rough enduro. I wouldn't say like expert enduro, but harder riding. So I've had them in all the the places that a newer rider, or even an experienced rider, might expect these bikes to be in, and how they performed within that environment, especially the T-Dub. Like, it's had everything from me to my son, my wife have all ridden it quite a bit, from learning how to ride a motorcycle all the way to like riding some crazy stuff on it, So we're excited. I will definitely finish those up. Hopefully by the end of the summer, all those reviews will be kind of done. I don't know if I'll do a lot of like gear reviews, but there are a few things that I want to review, more of just like hey, this is my experience with it. Reviewing products is a tough gig. One, everybody calls you a shill, which, kind of sucks. I want to go out and watch product videos before I purchase something. And so I'm thankful that, guys like Dork in the Road, Big Rock Moto, that they do that. I know that they have to do it to make a living, and that brings income for their channel, but I also want to know about products before I purchase them. So I appreciate what they do. That being said, gear reviews, to do them well, are a lot of work. And a lot of times there's a race to just get a video first out on a new product, to get the hype, right, and to get people to watch the channel. And I get that, and I think that that's valid, because I want to know about the new stuff as soon as it comes out too. Like, somebody show me how cool the new 390 Enduro R is, or whatever, which Dork is currently doing on his channel. So I love that, but I also kind of want to, like, what is the long-term, like, what's living with this over a long period of time going to feel like and going to be for me? And so that's maybe the kind of reviews that I want to do on stuff. So I may have the product a year or so before I really talk about it, have some live in its shoes for a while, if you will. And again, I think there's places for both. Time is a consideration for me as well. So I'd rather focus my energy on, kind of telling the stories of the cool places that you might be able to go and things to do when you're there, and maybe help encourage people to get out there, versus maybe more tailoring to the crowd that is already out there doing this, that's looking for the next gear to purchase or something like that. Though I think that could come in time. We'll kind of see where that goes. That's kind of where we're at the channel. I hope you come back and watch, and I hope to get a bunch of videos out this year. Lord willing, that'll happen. We'll get out, we'll get some fun riding in, see some great scenery, challenge ourselves, probably fall down multiple times, probably cry a little bit, and just wake up with some aches and pains. But that's really the point of doing this. I tell you, there's been something magical about learning something physically difficult and physically dangerous with my wife. It's been sweet in a way that I can't really fully express in words, I don't think. That's probably not necessarily something every couple needs. But it's been good for us, and it's been a unique challenge. And she's like, what a cool opportunity it's been for me to show patience towards her and encourage her in a way that, maybe she's not pushed herself before. And I've never really not tried to teach things to other people before, outside of like my professional environment and, raising your kids. Anyway, enough rambling. Hopefully there's been some good, highlight video in the background here. If you stayed around long enough to listen to this 15-minute ramble, thank you. And please come back to watch our awesome epic Pikes Peak trip, and the epic trips that we have coming up, and the bike reviews that we're going to try to do this summer. And hopefully we'll get some riding in over the winter too. And one other thing, bonus, we bought a 1982 Honda GL 500 that we're going to do some, maybe a bit of a bastardized version of like a scrambler / cafe racer. It's kind of half done in the garage right now. I'll show a picture of it. I don't have a tremendous amount of patience in the garage a lot of times. And if you watch any maker channels out on YouTube, if they're honest with you, they'll tell you it takes at least twice as long to do something when you're filming it, if not 3 times as long. And then you have the burden of editing all that and talking through it while you're trying to work and think. I'm not quite there yet. I'll show you some progress along the way, maybe this winter. Would I love to vlog the whole thing, tearing it down and building it completely back up? I would love to be the guy that can do that. I've got to seriously work on my shop patience if I'm ever going to be that guy. So maybe this will challenge me in that way too. All right, enough rambling. Go ride, go have some fun, go have some adventures. We're going to do that. We're going to take you along the way. Thanks again. Go have a good time. God bless y'all.